HOT6 GSL. My conscience is telling me. Can't see, can't feel all.
Welcome back to the GSL Code S.
Yes.
So we're back. We're going to be jumping into Trust versus Bomber. Another PvT.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Trust can pull out. You know, he is an up-and-coming Protoss. He's not like an official Artosis-sanctioned up-and-coming Protoss. I don't see him doing anything big in the next year. But, like, you start way low. Like, the first time you get... Not many people roll the road, okay? And, like, when they're coming, we kind of know they're coming most of the time. Like, we knew life was damn good before he was in Code S. But, like, I guess we didn't know he was as good as he was. But anyways, this guy is not going to roll the road, just to put that out there.
Sorry, Trust.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, he is getting much better, obviously. We've seen his name popping up from time to time, but he looked really nervous on the couch. He's very fidgety, 2 hands on the mic, tried to steady himself a little bit, mic wiggling back and forth. Like, lots of body language that says he was uncomfortable, which makes sense. Yeah. It's weird to be on TV when you've been playing video games your whole life. What the hell is going on here? What kind of great place is this?
It's very true. I mean, you can even tell right now, like, his chair is shaking. He's bouncing his leg up and down. He's trying to, you know...
See, yeah, you're reading it perfectly as well. Guys, we work on TV all the time. Like, we see this stuff.
This is when you know the guy you're playing poker against is bluffing. He's
something like that,
going crazy. Getting really nervous.
Yeah, we can smell the fear. But he's definitely a bit nervous. He's going up against the guy that's possibly the most relaxed that there is.
like the most experienced guy. He's
this
like,
guy,
I should be asleep right now. Like,
look at this. 12 Code S. Has won plenty of tournaments overseas. Has played in front of the biggest crowds. One of the most beloved pro gamers since the beginning of StarCraft II. Was a StarCraft 1 pro. Played plenty of matches in that. Well, not plenty, but enough matches in that even. Like, I mean, this guy, he doesn't need to do anything else and we'll remember him forever, okay?
Yeah, he does. He can retire tomorrow and we'd know. The Troika of Season 3, born in 1988.
He is the youngest. I mean, the oldest. He is the oldest here. Those are the 3 oldest there. They were born in 1988.
So,
means, yeah.
Isn't Young also born in 1988? Maybe he didn't make Code S.
Young?
Hyun.
Oh, Hyun?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he got eliminated in Code A. Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It was, he put up a good fight, though.
Funny to see Stork here again. He's got a very hard group.
Yeah. Troika. What does Troika mean? Old people? Old people Season 3?
I really don't know. I thought it had something to do with, like, 3, but maybe not.
I've seen the word, like, maybe once or twice before.
Troika.
1988. What year were you born?
91.
Wow. My younger brother was born in 1988.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were born in 1981?
3. Thank you, though.
Someone was born in 81.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
It wasn't you.
There's a hell of a lot of people born in 81.
I know someone out there watching was born in 81. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
That's who I was talking to, not Artosis.
Yeah.
Well, Echo is the map. Same first map here for this PvT.
Well, let's see what Trust can do here against the veteran Bomber. Guys, tell your friends! GSL Code S is on.
HOT6
Greatest show.
GSL Season 3.
Down here in the HOT6.
That's right. Down here in the HOT6 GSL Code S. It is. Too fast.
CJ Entus Trust.
It's a reasonable ID.
Yeah, I like it. And up here in the top left, HOT6 corner.
스베누 파머.
Otherwise known as Bomber.
I believe, if I recall correctly, Pokyuki, Korean bomber.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Yeah, he originally had his name in Korean.
I thought you were saying Poke-U-Ki.
He was actually like Pokyuki was his ID on the Korean ladder in the beta, and we're like, who the hell is this guy? Because he was like up at the top of the ladder and like very tough to beat. I remember he like took a game off Hydra or something, and we were like, what? Who is this guy?
That just said, Mother going up to the round of 16.
Yeah, I mean, he's welcome to come and watch. He won't be playing in it, but that's fine.
Who was that guy?
And, wow. Could this be one Barracks expand? I think, right?
He's done it before.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a bomber build.
He's like one of the only people that does this against Protoss. So, guess it will be.
Yeah, I got a little bit confused because the Korean commentators were kind of freaking out.
Yeah, they were going
Bomber
crazy.
does this a lot, actually. Like, it's 1-rack CC. That's like the original build in this matchup. There they are.
Hello
they
again.
play the card stone. They have the passion.
Ooh. Also going to get the engineering bay down. By the way, there's 2 gas taken, and he is getting a stalker out first, and that probe was waiting for a while to try to get a scout.
Yeah, a little bit of mismicro there, taking a step down when he wasn't supposed to with the Marine. So the probe does get in and gets all the intel in the universe. This is the all-knowing probe right now.
I wonder how much he's played against this, really, because it's just really not that common these days.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I totally like to look at it from that point of view, but I think that there's another thing that you have to take into consideration is that there's a reason why people don't do it too much. It definitely has like cool things and like messes up timings a little bit. But if you play like a standard kind of safe game, you'll be pretty safe against it as well. This doesn't, like, what does this offer really? It's like slightly safer than Command Center First, right? But slightly slower. So it's like, it's not, I don't think he should be like too scared because he has the Mothership Core, which can help fend off pretty much anything. But
this is a very interesting thing as well. He still hasn't made any gas. There we go. Double gas, in fact. Needs to catch up there. Needs to get some upgrades, some tech eventually.
well, with that Oracle on the way, he's got to have his Marines in position.
Well, he certainly does have a lot of them at this point. One of the things you can get with this build is that Barracks Burst as well as 3 racks pretty fast.
Robo coming up immediately here from Trust. Just have to see what this Oracle gets done. That's really the next important part of this game.
He's going for the main, which is actually not going to be as good as going for the natural here against Bomber, because Bomber's preparing for the main. He's got like 3 or 4 Marines down at the natural, but he's definitely got more defense than the main.
Yeah, people are normally more careful about the main mineral line because it has more SCVs and whatnot, but yeah, it looks like he gets that right out of there. All right, we'll see what he gets done. Even picking off Marines is not bad. It's still something.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
2 Marines and SCV so far. It's not bad as long as you don't lose it. You didn't take too much damage on it.
And we did just have a very regular follow-up here from Trust, doing for all of his gas, getting the Robo and the Robotics Bay, and the transition straight into Colossi. I'll be interested to see when he takes his 3rd base.
Yeah.
Will it compare with Classic, take it a bit earlier, and then just knock down the cooling tower for some defense?
Yeah, that is the really interesting thing to look at from Trust. I do have to agree with you on that. Because Bomber is someone you have to be careful about. Like, one of the ways that Bomber historically has done very well in StarCraft II is having an odd amount of units at an odd time. Oh, that was really not okay.
Yeah.
And he immediately starts another one. which is smart, because sometimes when you lose one, they just like stop defending. They're like, well, you won't make another. So
Then you do.
yeah. Yeah, I do like the making another, but you know what? That's a hell of a lot of gas, so.
Yeah. Again, it's just for that surprise factor. It looks like he made one turret in the natural. Not so sure about the main, but even when you do have one turret in each mineral line, you kind of still get kills on the gas SCVs, on SCVs building stuff, on Marines coming out of the racks. So, and he does have that missile turret in the main.
Well, Bomber, I think he just wants to get his macro really, really going here. But a very slow-paced game at the moment, and with the kind of the lateness of the medevacs and whatnot from this very mineral-intensive build from Bomber, which again is pretty common from Bomber. Not a whole lot of action in this early game. But
we kind of got to wait a little bit here.
See this micro, when he's at home, his micro's better than that.
Yeah, for sure.
When he's playing, you know, even at the qualifiers, his micro's better than that, because that micro doesn't get you into Code S. That, you know, he missed like several shots there.
Just kind of mediocre so far. Bomber makes a mistake there on the gas, that's fine. Does delay this command center a bit.
Yeah.
And he does scout the timing of it as well with that second Oracle, so not all bad here for Trust.
Best way to win, in my opinion, is through 1,000 paper cuts. 1,000 paper
that
cuts
so?
make you bleed as much as a giant gash.
I guess that's true.
Right? Yeah. I like it. Whittling
interesting
people
to think
down
about.
little by little, like that's an awesome thing.
Ooh, nice couple of force fields there. Gonna take him out. He hasn't taken out that cooling tower. It's one of the main parts of holding your third base on this map.
Certainly. You want them to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to get in there and attack you correctly.
Well, only one Colossus out just yet, but not enough bio to take him down just yet. Bomber is a Terran that will go for Vikings. So
And in fact, he
does.
started it. I wonder if he'll go for like a timing attack with the ghosts. It is possible.
You mean like a boys pull with...
yeah, like 3 ghosts pop out and you pull the boys and you go try to kill.
But usually we do see double starport as well.
Very good call on that, and that is not something that we see yet, so probably won't be the case. Which I don't want to see him do that anyways. I think that Bomber can play a longer game and
Like
win.
he doesn't need to do that against Trust.
No, I don't think he does. And the thing is, I'm not like trash talking Trust. Trust is obviously very good. He's in Code S, and he definitely has a possibility to beat Bomber. In fact, if they play in the ladder, I'm sure that he does okay against Bomber. But I feel like Bomber, like he's not gonna flinch. He's gonna continue to play well. I don't feel like he's made any big mistakes at all this game. You know, I don't feel like any of his control has been particularly off. Whereas we keep seeing like we saw an Oracle die to like 2 Marines, and then we saw like an Oracle miss 4 or 5 shots in a row.
Yeah.
With, you know, trying to micro, but he's clicking too fast and whatnot. So I think Bomber bringing it later game is smart for him.
I wonder if Bomber's just going to look to, I don't know, put on some pressure, just kind of duel here, not really go all in with a big boys pull. Just like get these 3 ghosts and then, oh, okay, never mind. He's just going to go with less Vikings.
3 ghosts.
A bit earlier, you
Let's
know?
attack. Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny to do it with, like, this is only going to be 6 Vikings in the initial attack, so that is, like, kind of a low number. You definitely were right about that. But he does have the 3 bases, so, like, as long as he does a good amount of damage with this, he can continue to play.
Here we go. He needs EMPs. Hits everything. All those Colossi
Wow.
very, very low.
Insane damage output here.
Bomber's dancing and dropping mules. Way, way too far ahead at this point. GG.
All right, well, Bomber really showing off there for such a calm and collected interview on that couch when Trust was like, oh, I don't know, Bomber's easy to prepare for.
Well, that's when he started
Bomber.
smirking and trying not to laugh. You know? So I think Bomber at this point is saying, you said I was going to be easy? All right, like, screw you.
It's like, do you
Get
even-
wrecked, mate. Like,
Yeah. It's like, how many tournaments, how much money have you won in this? Nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Who are you again?
If you have to retire from carpal tunnel right now, you have no future. You have to, you know, you.
It's kind of mean.
It is. But he was saying Bomber's easy. Bomber's not easy.
Bomber's not easy.
Guy's a killer. Look at him.
That was a scary pull. A scary push, rather. It comes so much earlier. You know, usually when you get a second starport, you wait a little bit longer. They could have 4 or 5 Colossi at that point, but that hit when there were 3 Colossi out, 4th one about to pop. It's very nice timing.
The EMPs were crazy. The positioning was poor from Trust, to be perfectly honest. He was just kind of like, he had nowhere to kite to. He had no way to slow it, especially when the EMPs hit him. It's like, well, I mean, you don't even have force fields now. You don't even, you know, how much energy you even have on that mothership core. So, just completely crushing Trust.
Also, I'm not even sure if he 100% knew it was coming, because there was a hallucination coming across the map, but it got sniped before he saw the SCVs.
Yeah.
He knew the push was coming, but I don't know if he knew it was that all in. I mean, he was prepared nonetheless.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't really matter, but...
You know, I think that he didn't know. I think you're right about that. I think it comes down to the fact, like, he never scouted a single starport anyways, which is oftentimes what you're looking for to see if an all-in is coming. So, pretty rough one for Trust, man. We'll see if he can do better in game number 2 here on Terraform.
Terraform, first time we're going to see this here, today, in this PvT. Not sure who banded out last time. It'll be interesting to see if Bomber can end this 2-0 very quick, or will Trust bring it back for the tie.
HOT6 GSL 시즌 3.
All right. In the bottom right, getting crushed in game number 1.
CJ 엔투스 트러스트.
We'll have to see if he can fight back here. That was a tough loss, man.
I love these CJ shirts with the 3 CJ logos on them. Up here in the top left in the blue.
스베누 파머.
I like the Spenu jacket for reals. Unlike your like of the CJ shirt.
Bomber versus Maru for winners match. Should happen.
I think so. Terran Imba. Beating the Protoss all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is... The CJ shirt having 3 CJ logos makes sense. CJ, for those of you who don't live in Korea and don't know this, big conglomerate out here. It's like, you know, the thing is, I think that in America it's probably the same thing. Like, I've seen these little things that, these little like flow charts that show like what company, like one company will own, like Frito-Lay owns like 40 companies we all know the name of. Out here, they don't hide that, so it feels like it's Umbrella Corp out here. Like, you know, Umbrella Corp from Resident Evil, where it's just like, whoa, they do everything. Like, all these companies that you see, like CJ, for instance, Wongjin to a lower extent, you know, some of these ones that sponsor teams, it's crazy. It's like they just, CJ has, like, everything you can think of. You can live in, like, a CJ building, have CJ furniture, and eat
like
CJ food.
A mini Samsung, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Think about that. I mean, Samsung even makes cars.
Yeah, they do. They make cars out here, guys.
They make everything, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if CJ makes cars. Maybe they have like a, you know, a company that they own that makes cars under a different name. OGN is run by CJ.
That's right.
I'm thinking the 3 logos, though. I'm thinking about this. Maybe it's, one is like the regular CJ. The other one is CJ E&M, maybe. Entertainment Media. And then the third one is CJ Antis, the pro gaming team.
Makes sense.
I think. I need to see it again. I'm not sure.
CJ, legendary team for a long time in StarCraft. Nice.
If there's one thing that tilts me when I play a Terran on the ladder, it's when they eBay block me.
Yeah, but if you make a Zella, it's fine. I always
fine,
start
but
a Zella.
it's still tilting.
Yeah, it is, because you have to finish your Zella and then it still delays you. But I always start my Zella and then cancel because I hate that so much. And it's something that I talk about with Protoss players a lot, especially in Control. I don't know why Terrans don't just do it. Like, I think Terrans can do it pretty much every time and it's always good. It's just like so annoying. It slows you down so much.
Even if the Protoss pulls 2 probes, maybe they're not ready for it. You can get like a decent amount of health on it so that you still delay. maybe even force the Zealot. I think it's worth it, definitely.
I'm sure there's a couple Terran pros watching. They're like, Artosis, you're so dumb. This is why. No, don't even type it on Twitter to me. Don't even do it. You should just put more eBay blocks against Protoss. Trust me on this, okay? Don't even want to hear why you think
they're going crazy in their house right now. Like their mind is exploding. They're like, no, Artosis,
you can't because
don't
of
say
this or
that
that
to the fans. You're lying to them.
I don't want to slow the Nexus by that much. Well.
Then my CC's gonna be
my
delayed.
build. God, just do it, believe me.
Well,
so annoying.
We are gonna have a very fast Stargate and Oracle here, and maybe Bomber's not gonna have that much. Even a Zealot and a Stalker already on the map.
And this is kind of annoying for him, right? Look at this. It's like the Zealot being back here. He's got to split his Marines a little bit, and the Oracle coming in.
Oh, look at this
that.
natural.
This is a great move. This is a really cool move. I like this a lot to combo with that Zealot.
Oh, the Stalker is still at home, though. Kind of funny. I think he could have gotten a lot more damage with the Stalker, but...
Well, right now, he's actually lured these Marines around quite a bit. Doing a good job. He's picking a few of them off.
Yeah, and he forced a big pull at the natural, too.
Yeah. Lost mining time. Killed some SCVs. He's killed 3 workers total so far. Not too bad. Can't complain, I think, about that for Trust. Going right into, of course, his Colossus tech and a Forge.
So this time around, Trust kind of getting the upper hand slightly, I suppose.
Well, I think this game, obviously, by what we see happening from these guys, is going to slow down quite a bit. And should be a little bit, I think, before we... Because, look, like, Bomber basically just not going for any sort of quick factory. Without the medevac, without the stim, you don't really want to see Terran moving out. So it's just going to be an Oracle kind of flying around for a little bit, trying to harass him while he builds up to what he needs to truly be on the map and have some presence.
I wonder if Bomber won't just do the same thing, you know? Go for early upgrade there at the engineering base. Still hasn't started it just yet, but he's getting stim first. Spending his gas elsewhere.
You know, sharp timing attacks like SCV pulls can be very hard for non-top level players to stop. I mean, you watch someone like CJ Hero or, you know, Parting or Rain or Classic for that matter against that type of stuff enough, you start to think, well, that doesn't work. SCV pulls should be gone. But the truth of the matter is, yeah, that top level of Protoss is, yeah, I guess against them you can't really do it. They're going to block it most of the time. They're going to know it's coming and whatnot.
Zest
but like,
just enjoys whenever a Terran does that to him. He shuts it down so hard, more so than any other Protoss.
But, you know, a lot of these builds work against the next tier and the tier below that of player. And that's for all the races. Like some of these builds that won't work at the very top become the easiest builds to win with a little bit lower down the ranks. Because it's just, it takes like such finesse and exactitude to stop
Exactitude?
Exactitude.
Is that a real word, Artosis?
I have no idea, but it is now.
Well, it is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shakespeare and stuff.
Yeah,
We've been over this.
What did you think about Bomber making 3 bunkers?
Love it. I think that in a series like this, when you're against a player you know you're supposed to beat, you over-defend at every turn. Because it's like, the thing is, against like a very top level Protoss, maybe he doesn't make 3 bunkers there. Maybe he has 1. And then maybe that Protoss is attacking him. But maybe that Protoss is taking a 3rd base like we see from Trust. The thing is, Trust took the 3rd. And yeah, Bomber's a little bit slower now because of that. But is that going to cost Bomber the game? I don't know. But you know what? A rush at his front might have.
Yeah.
That's much more likely to cost him the game, I think, than being a little bit slower against his 3rd Nexus. And so it's like, it's kind of like hedging yourself where you should. Do you take more risks because your opponent's better? Or do you play more defensive because you're better? That type of question. So I like it, to answer your question in 400 words or more.
Okay. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'll give you an A- on that one.
I'm going to have my mom come in and talk to you. That's an A+ material. It's a 93 at minimum.
Well, this pressure, the units here of Trust are way out of position. He may have even been able to get that Nexus with how out of position Trust was.
He assumed he gave Trust the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't that out of position, because I think you're right. I think he could have gotten the Nexus there.
Yeah, which would have been just...
Oh, man. That's when a single tear goes
would
down
have been
Trust's
holding
eye.
my head with 2 hands, just shaking my head. I wonder if Bomber's just not going to do the same thing.
Well, let's see if he throws up a Ghost Academy. He's getting his armory right now, second eBay, so I would say no. Like he's got to be going for a longer game, it looks like to me, but we'll see. I mean, he can turn on a dime if he needs to.
I'm not sure where his upgrades were in that last game. Were they just 1-1?
They were 1-1, yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is definitely a map comparing it to Echo, where the Protoss is going to have to spread out his units, kind of like Coda as well, or even Bonnie Research Station. Like, you can pull the units out of position towards that third base and then drop the main. And if you don't have classic level of unit splitting and preparedness, you definitely can have some trouble.
Yeah, so true. And you see he even has Colossus in his main base kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, it actually looks like classic level. Having a lot of Zealots there with those 2 Colossi.
Mara would drop right on top of that. Those are not positioned 100% perfectly.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. I love that type of play. He dances it to make sure more Marines are there so he gets the Oracle kill, because he's like, you're not looking at this. I can tell you're not looking at it because it's not moving.
Exactly.
That's how you abuse a player that is just not on top of it as much as you.
Well, Ghost Academy is coming down second starport. He's getting +1 for vehicle weapons, too. I wouldn't be surprised if he just did go for another one of these pushes towards the late mid-game here.
Yeah. This could be... well, he'd want to line it up with upgrades finishing, but he has his starport that's coming up, so he's got to get some action out of that starport, too, if he wants to do it and make it, like, optimal.
Yeah, for it to be totally efficient.
Yeah. Probably just hit it at max, I would imagine. I think he's going to move out at 200 and just smash through whatever Trust has.
Well, as long as he pushes soon, he should get there before Storm is done too, which is that really scary moment. And this map is, once again, it's going to be very hard for Trust to split perfectly against this kind of play. He does see it coming.
Well, let's see it. It's 4 Vikings being made at a time right now.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't need to pull SCVs this time. Look at his supply difference. It's up by 20, 30.
It's kind of getting out of hand.
Very careful here against this little Zealot run by, but hey, that's another 8 supply Trust doesn't have at home.
Yeah, and actually the SCVs are coming now. He's like, I can't defend that third base. Let's just pull them.
Hey, I guess. Sending those too. Those are a little bit late.
Yeah, well.
Look at this, bringing that. Oh, now Trust knows he's about to be attacked, and that floats away to 2 Zealots. You're like, oh, I guess I know where his army is. Near mine.
Ooh,
all right, let's see if he can do better.
Getting some great shots here.
Good time warps right there. A good spread on Colossus. Only 1 not firing right now, which is an issue, though. He is charging forward into this bio clump. That 1 Colossus missed like 5 or 6 beams. That actually was a pretty big deal.
The Archons are helping out a ton here in this fight, doing a lot of extra tanking, but Bomber does have a lot left over. I think just the macro of Bomber really pulling through here, hitting that max so fast, and even though Trust was very ready for this.
I tell you what, if that Colossus had been firing from the beginning, instead of having 2 fake ones sitting there firing in his way, he actually, I think, just barely wins that battle.
Oh, he's going to take the Forbidden Base.
That's a good thing to call it. I like that.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
He's doing a second boys pull here.
He's pulling the rest of the boys.
If at first you don't succeed.
Yeah. The draft has been rethought, now recruiting 16-year-old SCVs.
Oh, it's so funny.
Get over there.
Lots of Zealots here. Only 1 Colossus.
All right, here we go. The Zealot's going to get all over those SCVs, but they definitely do their job. The Zealot's having to walk forward against this. Oh god, all the damage in Zealots in completely different places.
That kiting was out of control. Warping in more and more Zealots. No more Vikings remain. And more Zealots coming through to do the tanking for the Colossus and the Archon. The kiting, though, here is so perfect.
Yeah, he's really doing such a fantastic job. We see almost no Colossus hits during that, almost no Archon hits during that as well. But that was a fantastic force field right there, saving that Colossus. Really clutch move. And wow, saves it once again there, actually. He's got to back up, though. He doesn't want to have Marauders stimming in and killing this.
One or two more hits would have done it. GG, Trust holds.
That Colossus living by the hair on his chinny chin right there. All right, a good defense, Could have gone slightly better for him, but you know what? He got his time warps off right at the beginning. The EMPs were not nearly as good. He engaged not up with his back against the wall. He knew it was coming because of the Zealot harassment. These are the various things that you need to have happening to be able to hold something like that. These are the type of things we didn't see in Game 1.
Yeah, you didn't even use, like, force fields or anything, really. Maybe the sentries got, you know, hit by the EMPs. I wasn't really sure. Pretty hectic fight, but...
Yeah, well, like, 2 force fields could have changed everything, and the Colossus in the front row could have changed everything, but he won anyway, so it all worked out for him. And truthfully, I think he actually should have won that. I didn't like the SCV pull as much this game, because it was so telegraphed. Like,
yeah,
I like the fact that he was maxed out. Yeah, he had 2 starports. He had barely used them when he did the SCV pull. He had the Ghost on. I feel like he could have just, like, poked around a little bit and not just pulled the SCVs, but, you know, Bomber, with that harassment going on at home, decided, you know what, this is my best chance right now. This harassment's doing more damage than I planned on. My army's out of position. Time to go. And you've got to respect that, the decisiveness of that. It can be a very hard call.
I would have loved if Bomber, before that push came out, he went for a big Doom drop into the main. Like you were saying before, it was only 2 Colossi. Maru would have dropped that. Dream would have Doom dropped that. That's what Dream does. He would have seen that. He's been like, okay, this is how I win this game.
Yeah.
But Bomber just not finding that little edge.
You have 6 Zealots behind you, Colossus? Yes, please.
That's just dessert.
All right, well, Iron Fortress is going to be our last map. This should favor Bomber a little bit, but we'll see what Trust has planned here. CJ Entis has really a history of planning out series well, so I think he's going to have a nice build here for this map, a nice cheese maybe, like a 2-base all-in perhaps. We'll see, guys. It's game number 3 of Trust against Bomber here at the GSL Code S.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, winning that last game.
CJ 엔투스 트러스트.
And the Terran player in the top left, the veteran.
스베누 파머.
Oldest player in Code S.
Well, you're talking about this map a little bit. Third base is very hard to take. Not the best Protoss map. Kind of merry-go-round feel, I suppose, without a ramp at your natural.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Also 4-player.
Yeah, 4-player, indeed. Big map. Definitely a tough one. Like it's hard to play like a good defensive macro game here. And, you know, that's what Trust has kind of been going for. Hasn't been doing too much cheesing. Like, yeah, he gets out an Oracle and does some harassment, but who doesn't, you know?
I mean, that Oracle harass actually very early on in the game. We were talking about how close that fight was. Maybe if he didn't get that Oracle damage and it was something like the first game, maybe Bomber just rolls over him. The reinforcements kill him.
Oh, man. You know what? That's a really good point. Something that we don't really talk about enough is little damage early game is amplified late game. Like, if you kill like a bunch of SCVs and cost some mining time, that is less units for Bomber. And he killed Marines as well. Like, what if Bomber had 5 or 6 more Marines,
What if he didn't make those 3
5
bunkers
more
too?
SCVs. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's definitely something you have to take into consideration. What if he had, you know, the 3 more Marines or something during that time? Maybe his barracks got up a little bit quicker. He had 2 more rounds. Like, all of this actually does make a difference in the long term. Like, there's, you know, in StarCraft 2, the actual macro portion of having more units doesn't affect the game as much as it did in StarCraft 1. It's more about strategy in StarCraft 2 than it is about mechanics or macro in StarCraft.
I think you made
I made an article
a blog
about
post,
it.
right?
Or a blog post, yeah, something. Yeah, I definitely wrote something about
I think it was an article.
It's something I want to drive home to people so that they understand. It was macro is what differentiated you in StarCraft 1. Strategy is what differentiates you in StarCraft 2. And
it's a pretty good read. I definitely recommend you guys check it out.
yeah, check out scdojo.tumblr.com or whatever that is.
Well, we are going to see a Stargate build again. And I think the Stalker is out too.
Oh,
Yeah?
let's see what he can get done. Kind of a cool place to put the Stargate, a little bit hidden there.
It's definitely going to hide against like an SCV scout.
Yeah.
They go straight into the main. They check out your main. They're not going to go to that top right corner usually.
Probably not, you're right. And on such a big map, like even if the SCV gets there, if it gets there second, your Stalker will be out anyways, so. Yeah, we'll see what he can get done with the Oracle. Get a few kills, and hey, maybe Bomber goes out in a loser match, which is really tough. Like, Classic's going to defend so well. He's going to defend better than what we saw from Trust that last game basically every time. So that makes it tougher. If Bomber is really wanting to rely upon SCV pulls, we don't really know for sure. Like, I think he was kind of forced into it that game by the nice sellout harassment coming in at the right time. But time will tell on that.
First Oracle is out on the map, and he's making a second one with a very close pylon but nearby.
Whoa. Whoa.
I love
That
reaction,
hurt.
Artosis. You're like, whoa.
Like, you can't, if you're, I mean, first off, you don't win that. You can pick up, you want to pick off a Marine or two? Yeah, you can.
But don't hit the orbital first.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's like, you better be damn precise. You're against a, you know why he has that many Marines there? Because it kills an Oracle. So you can't click on the command center, you can't tech move it. You have to be precise with your micro, and that was a mistake by Trust, no doubt. But I love this follow-up. As you mentioned, second Oracle. He's hoping to keep Bomber busy so he can sneak in this third command, or third Nexus rather, really quickly.
Nice focus there on one of the Oracles, and more Marines are popping out. Looks like a big pull is still going to go down, but the Oracle will escape.
Okay. That was fine. As long as he keeps him, he has to have an Oracle, because without an Oracle, there's no pressure. And with no pressure, like, Bomber can A, figure things out, B, maybe even put on some attack. You know, if he were to move out with all of his units right now, he's got 16 Marines. He could cancel that third if he went straight to it. Of course, he doesn't know it's there right now because, you know, there's Oracles out, kind of preventing him, scaring him, and whatnot.
Yeah, that SCV that's going out right now is the first scout, which is why he's going to the bottom left. He doesn't know where Trust is on the map. And maybe he'll, you know, sneak up there, take a peek at the third base, and he will see it. I would have loved if Trust immediately, like, went to the front of the base and just made sure no scouts came out. If he identified that Bomber didn't scout, and he's like, okay, I need to hide this for as long as possible.
You know what? I love what you're saying there. Wasn't thinking about that, but that would have been fantastic to just sit there and be like, no, you can't scout. You know, if too many Marines come out after him, he just moves it to the side. But
are you going to scan to see if I have a third base? There's 2 different locations.
yeah. The SCV is coming up. I think it'll probably go right into the natural and maybe miss the fact that there is a third base. So still not a lot of information for him to work with. Look at this. He's actually bringing his SCVs up to the bunkers. He's really scared right now since he just saw a unit.
Yeah. He saw one
Look at
unit,
that.
and this is what happens.
Oh, man. Bomber is playing almost too safe at this point. Look at this. He was going 3 bunkers again, pulling all his SCVs. Thing is, when you see that, you have to do that, because if he is being rushed and he doesn't do that, we're like, wow, you're dumb. Why didn't you do that? So it's not, like, bad, but right now, Trust, like, everything's working out for him really, really well.
He's getting so far ahead right now. I'm just loving his position. If he can get like 2-3 Colossi out on 3 base, a 3rd base that's this early, he's going to be in a fantastic spot. And we may see Bomber go down, which would just be
you're right.
unexpected.
I mean, I'm definitely favoring Trust. His build order has been fantastic. He's in very good shape right now. There's nothing that scares me about what Bomber is doing for Trust whatsoever.
Yeah.
Looking at like the fact that his 3rd is up and running for this long and the 3rd isn't finished constructing for Bomber. I don't. How do you win this as Bomber? It's just so tough, and this can happen though when you don't scout till really late. You know.
Yeah, he's got all the minerals in the world. He makes 5 extra gateways. He's gonna have so many extra units behind this.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he puts down the 3rd base with, you know, he's got a reason for doing it. It's not just like Bomber's better than me. I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna throw it down early, and hopefully he doesn't scout it. It's pressure with the 2 oracles.
Yeah.
That's like a very thought out build, and it makes sense. You got to remember, this guy is on CJ Entus with both Hero and Hush. Both of those 2 Protoss minds who, you know, one of them is a fantastic player in the booth. He gets a lot of results. The other guy has been touted as one of the smartest Protoss players. So, Trust, you know, maybe he's not the most confident in the booth. Maybe he's a bit nervous, but he still knows what he's doing.
It very well said indeed. It's Trust really kind of calming down, I think. You know, that first game was just a train wreck.
Yeah.
But here we're seeing him pull it together a bit towards the end of the series. Even if he wins here, I mean, he goes up against Amaru coming up, so that's...
That'll be the real test.
Yeah, it literally doesn't get harder than that, so good luck to him. But this game is not over yet. Okay, Bomber still, you know, you take one good fight and everything turns around.
It's true. Does have his 3rd base up now. Still no real damage done, though, to the base of Trust. He did snipe like 1 pylon, maybe 2, over to the right side of the map that were used for spotting. He's actually gotten the hallucinated Phoenix to just patrol over there, too. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, as long as he keeps some intel and keeps his units spread right, I mean, he's in a position where he should not be able to be broken. He's going up to Sidestorm, trying to get that insane death ball, you know, the 5 Colossus, bunch of High Templars, reasonable upgrades. That is something that can kill just about anything bio-based. So if he gets there, it's even worse for Bomber. And the thing is, Bomber's not in any position to truly do damage at the moment.
Yeah. And if you look at the build of Bomber, you know, the Ghost Academy is coming up now, but with the extra gas that Tush was able to get from that 3rd base for, you know, a very long time, very early, he's already got Sidestorm finished up by the time Bomber's going to hit with this attack.
Yeah. This isn't looking good for Bomber, man. If he pulls SCVs, he's like really in trouble. Like, Sidestorm is the counter to SCV pulls, truly, so hopefully he doesn't do something like that. Thing is, he doesn't have a whole lot of intel on what's going on over there. But this is a big move out by Bomber. This is his first real big move out of the game. What can he get done? I don't foresee him getting anything done right now. I think he has to force a mistake out of Trust here. It's doable. It's possible. But
well, he's throwing away some Zealots, but a gigantic warping coming in. Like, so the supplies didn't really tell the story. He's got so much tech behind this army, but he still doesn't have charge, and he is throwing away some units, so he just has to be a bit careful here.
Yeah. The Sidestorm will make up for some amount. Hey, that could have been... All right, that was good control by Trust. Because sometimes you move up with your High Templars in a clump like that and things can go wrong. Bomber did the right move to try to capitalize. Didn't work. That's fine. He's still maxed out. Is still fine economy-wise. He just needs to not engage like a head-on collision unless he's 100% sure he's got the right spread for it.
Yeah. Bomber at this point has realized that Trust, you know, he's got a pretty good economy, so he's just going to say, okay, we're playing late game. Here come 3 orbitals. I'm getting a 4th base.
Yeah, I do like it. Trust, I don't think should be exactly where he is right now. I think it's okay to poke areas. Oh, wow, that's a big warp in.
And now they all have charge. They've got +1, +2 armor. Big recall, but he will force that 4th base to be canceled. But look how much damage that's doing.
Yeah, 12 SCVs already. Oh, no.
He's not lifting it. It's going to go down.
Oh, your buildings fly. Yeah, that's dead. Ouch.
Look at all this damage.
This is insane damage. And you know what? This is the second game in a row where this is not like a super complicated Zealot harassment, but Bomber's out on the map with all of his units, and then Zealot harassment comes, and he's put into a position where, I mean, does he not have to all in here?
Well, if he had that 4th CC, maybe. He does have a couple of extra orbitals. That is one thing to note. But Trust, look at all the units for Bomber that are at the main, and the 3rd base is being sieged now by the entire Protoss army.
This could be the mistake he's looking for, actually. I don't think that this attack is well advised whatsoever. He's attacking up into Terran buildings in an area where he can get flanked. I think you sit home. When you do that much damage, why the hell do you go across the map to finish him? Let him throw his crap into you when you're in the best defensive position you can be in.
Where's the Mothership Core? He needs it for the recall.
This is, oh man.
He's going to be
This is Bomber's chance right here. That's a lot of Psy Storms, holy crap. But look at this Bomber flank, man. It is like 270 degrees.
Yeah, look at this spread. He's going to get right on top of the Colossi. There is nothing left here for Trust.
Really amateur mistake there by Trust. Like, you do that much damage. Like, he did so much damage that we were literally like, okay, I guess Bomber has to all in, right?
Yeah. All you have to do is
never attack. Yeah, you just sit at home and you wait. You wait for him to leave the game.
Mothership Car was at home with full energy.
Oh, man. Yeah, just no reason to be out on the map. Sub 200 supply, perfect composition, well ahead of your opponent, dealing lots of damage with Zealot harassment.
Well, he's trying to defend here. Supplies don't tell the whole story. Army supply way up here for Bomber. DT out here. Maybe if he can get some good swipes without Bomber realizing he's actually going to push him back. There are more reinforcements coming around.
Yeah, there's still a chance that Trust holds on here and wins this game. Absolutely. He does have double Robo right now. And, you know, a couple Colossus popping out. There's not that many Vikings, so definitely possible.
Too.
Oh, yeah, the DTs are really nice.
They get on top of that army, and Bomber's not paying attention. Look at how much support he's got for 2 Colossi now. He's trying to get on top of them. One of them does go down.
Yeah, he's got no anti-air, though, so he's warping in a couple Stalkers to deal with that. In the meantime, though, the Zealots are on their own. And Zealots on their own don't really beat kiting bio that well. You have to have a hell of a lot of them to do that. So some good micro here from Bomber. So many medevacs here trying to keep his stuff alive. He really needs to pick up the Colossus, and he gets it.
Just barely.
Oh, he's got to be careful, though. He cannot, he has to just continually micro here.
Yeah. And finally the scan comes out and he focuses down the DTs.
As straining as this may be on his old man wrists, he's really got to control well here.
The Bomber old man wrists. Yeah. Will they pull him to victory? Well, so many medevacs in this composition, by the way. Keeping him alive.
Yeah, it's very important. He is, like, a lot of them are getting low on energy, which is important to note as well. But he's continuing to kite well. Just maybe over-bleeding into him a little bit. You really have to pull back a lot in a situation like this. You've got to build up your force overall to an overwhelming amount.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to find a nice angle from here. Should be able to snipe that Colossus. Yeah, that's going down.
This is almost spelling defeat now for Trust.
Almost.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, the more and more Mirage we see stemmed across the map at him, the tougher this becomes. But the medevacs are getting very low on energy. Trust does have that base, that 4th base, let's not forget. So, like, his warpins are still coming. And as he picks up, look at this, he's keeping those Stalkers alive. That's super important here. He's picking off medevac after medevac. If we run out of medevacs, there's no more healing and stims don't work. He's stimming across the map, don't forget that.
Yeah. Where are the Colossi that are coming out, actually? Finally, we do see one. I think he was just kind of bleeding this entire time, trying to just warp in, but forgetting the Colossi. I think he's going to lose that 3rd base, but
his micro was a little bit off against that, and Bomber's micro was a bit too good, so made it a bit tough. But Bomber really starting to snowball this now. He's going to go up towards that 4th base, and that should be the ceiling of the game, really.
Yeah, look at the army supplies now, 20 to 69. You know, Bomber's easily got this one just with the usage of his dank memes.
Indeed.
well.
Yeah, he's sealing the deal at the moment. Looks like he's walking back. Okay, now Bomber is kind of showing us how to do it. Like as Terran generally, you have to go finish it at some point. But he's like, okay, I just killed both your Nexus. I'm pretty sure I can go home, make sure I'm mining for a minute, get a few more units, and then go kill you. Yeah. Which is what Trust should have done early on. He had this game pretty much sealed with the Zealot harassment until the huge mistake of being in the middle of the map with like all of his tech units and no beef with it. You don't have the perfect comp, don't move.
I mean, if you're going to do something like that, you have to forego the defense with your Mothership Core at home and say, okay, he's not going to drop me, and just be ready for a recall, because you can't be in that position without a recall.
Very, very true. Well, right now Trust is trying to build something up here, but he's barely mining. Even perfect size storms don't save you here. That's Marauders there.
Well, Storm's coming down, but that's just way too much Bomber. That should be it.
Oh, man. It was
GG.
Happy birthday, Bomber. That was a gift from Trust. Gift wrapped. And he knows it. He's like, damn, I almost just went down a loser bracket to play Classic. No, thank you. Well, Bomber goes on to that winter match. Wow. That was actually a pretty good series. I actually pretty much enjoyed that series. Like, game one was not good, but Trust pulled it together by the end. He made some mistakes, guys. There's some nerves in there. That was a terrible mistake in that last game. That was like...
they lost some of the game.
That was an easy closeout for any good Protoss.
Yep.
But he really bungled that one, unfortunately.
Maybe next time. Maybe in this next series against Classic.
Oh, boy. Well,
we were saying it before. That's like the hardest place for Trust to be in.
It seems that way. Like, Classic's PvP has been way too on point lately at Shenzhen, taking out 3 of the best PvPers in the world. So, I mean, that's pretty tough. Okay, the winter match coming up next. It's going to be a TvT, Mario against Bomber. Be back in just a moment.